this is what the Lord has said to me. And I could let you hear the audio recording maybe sometime. It was on audio. It said this: all the money that you have spent and all the money in corporations that has been spent. Amazon, all of those companies that use their money to kill the unborn. Starbucks, all of these companies that use their money to kill the unborn. I am going to use your money to make your shroud. Your money that you spent on to kill the unborn will now stitch your shroud together to bury you in. For this has already come down as a harvest, and it is not going to not come up. For this is the way it is. You have stood with your teeth and hissed at me, says the Lord. Through your teeth and your vile saliva spraying out through the middle of your teeth. Well, you didn't move me, says the King. For the spray of the Red Sea will knock you back on your back. And I am going to now pull the chariot wheels off of Zuckerberg. I will pull the chariot wheels off of Twitter. I am going to pull the chariot wheels off of Google. I am going to do this, says the Lord. And Bill Gates, you ran into a corner, and there's nowhere for you to go. I'm going to use your money, all of you, that you use to kill children, and I am going to knit your shroud with it. That's what you'll be buried in. Save your 2 coins to close your eyelids, because that's all you'll have left when this thing is through, says the Lord our God. Now that was a prophecy I gave in January the 9th, 2021. Robin, you were in the car with me when that came up out of my spirit. I've never said anything really about it. I spoke about it one time, a long time back in an 11th hour somewhere. But this was given on January the 9th. It's documented it was given on that date. Now, we've seen everything that's transpired since then. We've seen some things happen. We've seen the guy of Twitter step down. We saw Zuckerberg fall on his face, lose billions of dollars, pronounce his own self dead when he named himself Meta, rebranded. So we see this prophecy happening even now. Now, let's go ahead. We see that coming to pass. Now, let's go ahead and look what's on everybody's mind. You know, there was a lot of things that happened at the Super Bowl the other night. And I had a dream about 3 Bengal tigers 2 days before that event. And on that, and I told Robin about it. Her and I was discussing this the morning we got up. We usually get up and tell each other our dreams right off. We'll sit around and talk about what we dreamt. Is that the way you say it? What we dreamed of. It still sounds good to me. So that's what we will do. And I told her I dreamed of these 3 Bengal tigers. This is just in a nutshell. But one of the tigers had half of his face was messed up on one side, on half of it, on his right side. And so that half was messed up. And then the other side was good. And there were 3 of them. Well, we saw them lose by 3 in the second half. So the Lord was talking through all of that. Why would he talk through such things as that, Brother Robin? Because that's where most of God's people are looking. That's where people stand and stare at it. You're not going to get them in church. That's where they're looking at it. And you have the world staring at one event. And so just to give you things like that, it was, I remember we were sitting there and Krista pointed out, and I only watch things sometimes for prophetic reasons. Krista pointed out this is, it's the rams, and in Genesis 22 is where the ram was offered. And then we get to looking at things like that. And then you start seeing that, and this was really something, that I remember the Bengals, and this was something that it kept showing up, and John pointed this out. John kept saying, and when he said, this is the first time we've ever, because we were, somebody had sent a jersey and we were talking about the Bengals winning. John said, it's the first time I've ever seen us root for a Joe over a Donald. And man, when he said that, I said, well, maybe I need to start rooting for the Rams here. And so they kept showing, instead of the two quarterbacks, they kept showing Donald. What was his first name? Aaron? Allen? Whatever his name was. They kept showing Donald and a Joe. Donald and a Joe. It came down to 3 points in one half. And then suddenly on 22, Genesis 22, the ram was offered. And then it came down, caught in a thicket right at the goal line. And suddenly the ram prevailed. And we saw Donald beat Joe. Now just think about that for a minute. We'll just go ahead and leave that there. Well, yeah, there's a lot more to that. But I just want you to see it's been a prophetic week. Now we see the trucks that began and it was what, Super Bowl 56? Wasn't that what it was? Somebody tell me. Yeah, 56? That's 11, 5 plus 6, which is 2 in 2022. Everything's happening in 2022. This thing is really culminating now. And then we see the truck started in Ottawa. And remember, the Lord gave me a prophetic song here, and we put that out where we started singing about, and and Hank Kuhneman prophesied the convoy, and now it's worldwide. And it's amazing, a lot of this went on. And then the Lord gave me that word. It said, Quebec is going to shake. Boom, boom. Remember, way back, Quebec is going to shake. And he said it was going to be shaking and rolling in or something. And now they started heading toward Quebec. And then they started there. Now Israel is involved. And so we see all of this happening right now.